The WWE Champion is in serious trouble, and what Nick Aldis just revealed about Cody Rhodes' condition after Drew McIntyre's brutal backstage assault is sending shockwaves through the entire wrestling world right now. This isn't your typical injured champion storyline where someone takes a few weeks off and comes back. Find the details coming out about the severity of the attack, the extent of the injuries Cody sustained, and most terrifyingly, the uncertainty about when or if Cody will be cleared to compete again are making everyone realize that Drew McIntyre might have just ended the American Dream's championship reign in the most violent and devastating way possible. What Aldis revealed in his emergency press conference is going to make you furious about what McIntyre did, heartbroken for Cody, and absolutely desperate to know what happens next with the WWE Championship hanging in the balance. Let me start by describing what actually happened because the attack itself was one of the most vicious things we've seen on WWE television in years. SmackDown was wrapping up, Cody had just finished cutting a promo in the ring about his upcoming championship defense, and he was walking through the backstage area heading to his locker room. Normal post-show routine, nothing unusual. Then out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre attacked him from behind with a steel chair. Not one shot, multiple devastating chair shots to Cody's back, his shoulders, his legs. Cody went down immediately, trying to protect himself, but McIntyre was relentless. Security tried to intervene, but McIntyre fought them off. Other wrestlers tried to pull him away, but McIntyre was in such a rage that it took 6 people to finally restrain him. By the time they got McIntyre under control, Cody was on the ground not moving, clearly in serious distress. Medical personnel rushed to the scene immediately, and the look on their faces, the professional concern that medical staff get when something is genuinely wrong, told everyone watching that this wasn't just selling, this was real. The cameras were quickly ushered away, backstage monitors were turned off, and WWE went into crisis management mode trying to assess the damage. Nick Aldis was called to the scene immediately. As SmackDown general manager, he's responsible for the safety and well-being of everyone on his roster, and seeing his WWE champion laid out and injured on his watch clearly shook him. Witnesses say Aldis was visibly angry and disturbed, demanding answers about Cody's condition, ordering enhanced security for when Cody is transported to the hospital, and making it clear that there would be severe consequences for Drew McIntyre's actions. But in that moment, consequences for Drew were secondary. The priority was getting Cody medical attention and figuring out how bad the damage actually was. The ambulance was called, and Cody was transported to a local medical facility for full evaluation. This wasn't just precautionary. WWE doesn't call ambulances for every attack or injury. They have their own medical staff that can handle most situations. Calling an ambulance meant that Cody's condition was serious enough that they needed hospital-level care immediately. That image of Cody being loaded into an ambulance, still in his ring gear, with medical personnel surrounding him, is an image that's going to stick with fans for a long time because it represented the reality that the WWE Champion was genuinely hurt. The next 24 hours were agonizing for everyone. WWE didn't release any information immediately, which only increased speculation and concern. Social media was flooded with fans expressing worry for Cody, anger at Drew McIntyre, and demanding updates about the champion's condition. Wrestling news sites were scrambling for information, contacting sources, trying to get any details about the extent of Cody's injuries. The uncertainty was killing everyone because when WWE goes silent about an injury, it usually means the news isn't good. Then Nick Aldis called an emergency press conference. Not a backstage promo, not a social media statement, a formal press conference with media credentials required, which WWE rarely does. That alone told everyone this was serious. Aldis looked exhausted and stressed when he stepped up to the podium, like he'd been up all night dealing with this crisis. He had notes in front of him, which suggested he was being very careful about what information he disclosed and how he disclosed it. The room was packed with media, and you could feel the tension as everyone waited to hear what Aldis had to say about Cody's condition. Aldis started by condemning McIntyre's actions in the strongest possible terms. What Drew McIntyre did last night was not professional wrestling. It was not competition. It was a vicious, unprovoked assault on the WWE champion that went far beyond anything that could be justified or excused. Drew will face consequences for his actions, but right now, my primary concern is Cody Rhodes and his well-being. That opening set the tone. This was serious, and Aldis was not minimizing what happened. Then came the medical update that had everyone holding their breath. Cody Rhodes underwent extensive medical evaluation overnight. The preliminary diagnosis includes multiple contusions across his back and lower body, severe muscle trauma, and Aldis paused here, and you could see him processing what he was about to say: potential spinal injury that requires additional testing and specialist consultation. Cody is currently undergoing MRI scans and consulting with neurological specialists to determine the full extent of the damage to his spine and surrounding structures. The room erupted with questions. Potential spinal injury is the phrase that terrifies everyone in wrestling because spinal injuries can be career-ending or even life-altering. Suddenly, this wasn't just about whether Cody would miss a few shows, this was about whether Cody Rhodes' career might be in jeopardy because of Drew McIntyre's attack. Aldis held up his hand for quiet and continued, I want to be very clear, we do not have a complete diagnosis yet. The specialists need more time to evaluate Cody's condition fully. What I can tell you is that Cody is in significant pain, he is unable to perform at this time, and we do not have a timeline for his return to competition. That phrase, we do not have a timeline for his return, is WWE speak for, this could be a very long time, or possibly never. Aldis didn't say Cody was out for 2 weeks or a month, he said they have no idea when Cody will be back. That uncertainty is what's making everyone so concerned. With the WWE Championship picture now in complete chaos, with major events on the horizon, with storylines built around Cody's reign, the fact that nobody knows when the champion will be able to compete again throws everything into disarray. Aldis then addressed the immediate question everyone had. As SmackDown general manager, I am facing a difficult decision regarding the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes won the championship through hard work and determination, and he has been an exemplary champion who has elevated the title and this brand. The last thing I want to do is strip Cody of the championship while he's injured through no fault of his own. However, I also have a responsibility to this roster, to the fans, and to the integrity of the championship itself. A championship that cannot be defended is not serving its purpose. This is where it got really complicated. Aldis was essentially saying that he might have to strip Cody of the WWE Championship even though Cody did nothing wrong, even though he's only injured because he was viciously attacked by Drew McIntyre. That seems incredibly unfair, punishing the victim while the attacker presumably faces suspension or fines but gets what he wanted by taking Cody out of action. Fans in the press conference and watching online immediately started expressing outrage that Cody might lose his championship for being attacked. But Aldis continued, I am giving Cody Rhodes 2 weeks to recover and provide updated medical clearance. If, at the end of 2 weeks, Cody is medically cleared to compete and can defend his championship, then his reign continues uninterrupted. If Cody is not cleared within the time frame, I will be forced to declare the WWE Championship vacant and establish a tournament or match to crown a new champion. This decision is not made lightly, and I want to be clear that this timeline is designed to give Cody every possible opportunity to recover while also ensuring that SmackDown and WWE can continue to present compelling championship competition. 2 weeks. That's the deadline Cody has to recover from potential spinal injuries and get cleared to compete, or he loses the championship he fought so hard to win. The pressure on Cody to rush his recovery is immense, and that pressure could lead to Cody coming back before he's actually ready, risking further injury or permanent damage. But Cody is also the kind of competitor who would never willingly give up his championship, so everyone knows he's going to push himself to get cleared within those 2 weeks regardless of what doctors recommend. Aldis then addressed Drew McIntyre's punishment. Drew McIntyre has been indefinitely suspended pending a full investigation into last night's attack. He will not be allowed at any WWE venue, he will not be part of any WWE programming, and he will not receive any compensation during his suspension. When Drew is reinstated, if he is reinstated, he will face additional sanctions that may include fines, loss of opportunities, and other penalties deemed appropriate. Make no mistake, WWE does not condone what Drew did, and he will be held accountable. That sounds strong. But here's the problem, Drew McIntyre got exactly what he wanted. He took out the WWE champion, potentially ended Cody's reign, and inserted himself into the championship picture through violence. Even if Drew is suspended for weeks or months, when he comes back, he'll position himself as the man who ended Cody Rhodes' championship run. If Cody does get stripped of the title, Drew will claim credit for it and demand to be in the tournament or match to crown the new champion. Drew's suspension isn't really a punishment, it's a vacation before he returns as a bigger threat than ever. The roster reaction to Aldis's announcement has been divided. Some wrestlers are supportive of Cody and angry at Drew, expressing hope that Cody recovers quickly and keeps his championship. Others are privately, and some not so privately, viewing this as an opportunity. If Cody gets stripped of the title, suddenly there's a WWE Championship tournament or match that everyone will want to be part of. The competitive nature of professional wrestling means that even while people feel bad for Cody personally, they're also calculating how his injury might benefit their own careers. The fan reaction has been passionate and varied. Cody Rhodes has one of the most loyal fan bases in all of wrestling, and they're furious about what happened. Social media is full of fans demanding that WWE find a way to protect Cody's reign, that they extend the deadline beyond 2 weeks, that they punish Drew McIntyre more severely. There are petitions, there are hashtags, there are organized campaigns all focused on supporting Cody through this crisis. But there are also fans who think the 2-week deadline is fair, that championships need to be defended regularly, and that Cody unfortunately is in a situation where business decisions have to take precedence over sentiment. The medical experts weighing in on social media and podcasts are expressing serious concern about potential spinal injuries. Multiple former wrestlers who've dealt with back and spine issues have spoken out about how dangerous it is to rush recovery from these types of injuries. They're urging Cody to prioritize his long-term health over short-term championship glory, reminding everyone that no title is worth permanent disability or chronic pain that will affect the rest of your life. These voices of experience are trying to counterbalance the competitive pressure that's going to make Cody want to return as quickly as possible. The championship tournament possibilities are being debated extensively. If Cody gets stripped of the title, who should be in the tournament? The obvious names include top contenders who've been building toward championship opportunities, but there's also the question of whether Drew McIntyre should be included despite causing this situation. Some argue that Drew should be banned from championship opportunities as additional punishment. Others argue that if Drew beat the champion, even through an attack, he's earned his spot in the championship picture. These debates are creating engagement and discussion that WWE probably loves, even though the circumstances are unfortunate. Cody's personal response to this situation hasn't been made public yet, and that's telling. Usually after a major injury or storyline development, wrestlers post on social media addressing the situation. Cody's silence suggests he's either too injured to even engage with social media, or he's so focused on recovery and getting medical clearance that everything else is secondary. When Cody does speak publicly about this, his words are going to carry enormous weight and will likely shape how fans perceive this entire situation. The potential long-term effects of this attack go beyond just Cody's immediate health. If he does have legitimate spinal issues, even if he gets cleared to return in 2 weeks, those issues could linger and cause problems for months or years. Chronic back pain is something many wrestlers deal with, and starting a chronic injury situation while in the middle of a championship reign means Cody might not be able to perform at his best even if he keeps the title. That diminished performance could affect his future opportunities, his legacy, and his overall career trajectory. Drew McIntyre's motivation for the attack is still somewhat unclear, and that's creating speculation and debate. Did Drew attack Cody because he feels disrespected? Because he believes he deserves the championship more than Cody? Because he's frustrated with his position on the card? Or was there outside influence? Maybe someone put Drew up to this, maybe this attack serves someone else's agenda. The mysterious motivation makes Drew's character more complex and interesting, even while everyone condemns his actions. The parallels to other major wrestling moments are being drawn constantly. Fans are comparing this to other times champions were stripped of titles due to injury, other instances of brutal backstage attacks, other periods where the championship picture was thrown into chaos by unforeseen circumstances. Those historical comparisons provide context but also show how rare and significant this situation actually is. It's not often that the WWE champion is legitimately injured in an attack that puts both his health and his championship reign in jeopardy simultaneously. Nick Aldis's handling of this crisis is being evaluated constantly. Some people think he's being fair and measured, trying to balance competing concerns while doing what's best for everyone involved. Others think he's being too harsh on Cody by imposing the 2-week deadline, or not harsh enough on Drew by leaving open the possibility of his return. Aldis's reputation as general manager is being defined by how he navigates this situation, and depending on how it turns out, he'll either be seen as a strong leader who made tough decisions or as someone who failed to protect his champion and handled the crisis poorly. The next 2 weeks are going to be agonizing for everyone invested in this storyline. Every day that passes is one day closer to the deadline where Cody either gets medically cleared or loses his championship. Medical updates will be scrutinized, every report will be analyzed, every appearance or absence will be interpreted as evidence about Cody's condition. The tension and uncertainty create must-watch television because nobody knows what's going to happen, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The possibility that Cody does get cleared and returns within 2 weeks sets up an incredible comeback story. Cody overcoming this attack, fighting through the pain, getting cleared against the odds, and retaining his championship would be one of the most inspiring moments in recent WWE history. It would reinforce Cody's character as someone who never gives up, who fights through adversity, who refuses to let anyone take what he earned. That triumphant return would be a huge moment that fans would celebrate and remember forever. But the possibility that Cody doesn't get cleared is equally compelling from a storytelling perspective, even though it's heartbreaking. Cody being forced to relinquish the championship, having to address the fans while injured and stripped of his title, sets up a revenge storyline against Drew McIntyre that would be intensely personal and emotionally charged. Cody's quest to recover, get back in the ring, and make Drew pay for what he did while also trying to regain the championship would be a long-term story that could sustain multiple pay-per-views and create countless compelling moments. What Nick Aldis revealed about Cody Rhodes' condition after Drew McIntyre's attack is the beginning of one of the most significant storylines WWE has presented in years. The uncertainty about Cody's health, the 2-week deadline for his championship reign, the consequences for Drew, the ripple effects throughout the entire SmackDown roster, all of it creates a situation where every segment, every update, every development matters and contributes to a larger narrative that has everyone invested. Whether you're a Cody Rhodes fan devastated by what happened, a Drew McIntyre supporter who thinks the attack was justified, or just someone who appreciates compelling wrestling storytelling, you have to pay attention to how this unfolds because the ramifications will shape WWE for months or potentially years to come. The American Dream is fighting for his health and his championship, and the wrestling world is watching to see if dreams can survive when nightmares attack them in the most brutal way possible.